Hey everybody, it's Ian here from IBI Performance Coaching. Today I've got a tip, a real easy thing that you can do. It doesn't take that long. You can do it all on your own and it will improve your relationship. We're talking largely romantic relationships here, though I imagine you could apply it to other relationships. Stay tuned. I think you'll like this. All right, so here's the story. The other day, I was driving around in the car with my wife, and a song came on that was played during our wedding, and she challenged me. She said, "You need to say 100 things that you like about me before the song ends." And of course, it was impossible. It wasn't like Stairway to Heaven or something like that. It was a 3-minute song. So there's no way I'm going to do that while driving. I tried. I got like 1 or 2 or 3 maybe, but it implanted an idea in my head. And, I dropped her off. She had some stuff to do. I went home. And I sat down and I started writing a list. And I wrote a list of 100 things that I love about my wife. And I sent it to her. And I have to say it's probably one of the best things that I could have possibly done for my relationship. Now, we already have a good relationship with my wife. But this was a really, really solidly positive thing to have done. And I'm going to lay out why it was so positive, and then I'm going to give you some hints about how to do it so that it's really effective. Okay. So first, made me realize all the things that I have to be grateful for. And, I'm sure we're all aware that the in and outs, the repetition and routine of everyday life can really make you blind to the things that are good in your life. And if you're blind to the things that are good in your life, you're not enjoying your life as much as you could. And you're also not reinforcing those positive things that you like. So the one thing, and this would have been worth the price of admission, worth the 20 or 30 minutes it took me to sit down and write like a thought out list of 100 things. And, this gratitude that it gave me for the stuff that I already have was worth that time and effort all by itself. Okay, the second thing was it made me realize that a lot of the things that in the moment I allow myself to be annoyed by are actually things that I really appreciate. They're sort of idiosyncrasies about my wife that I actually like a lot, and I feel like if they disappeared all of a sudden, I would feel a bit deprived of them. I would feel like I missed them. And when we're caught up in the daily routine and juggling tasks and stuff like this, something like a request to do something for her that's a bit odd can feel annoying. But when you're in a better state of mind, more greater presence, and you think about those things, often those are the things that are special, or they feel special. And so I have a feeling that next time one of those things pops up, I'm less likely to be annoyed by it. I'll probably recognize, oh, this is one of those things that I actually am quite fond of. Okay, third thing, and this is a big one, is by listing out the things that I love about her. Okay, I am reinforcing those behaviors. She reads this list and she says, "Oh, like he appreciates when I do this. Oh, I feel appreciated for that. Oh, I feel approved of for this. I feel like someone is noticing that I do this well. Oh, this is making me feel more accomplished," right? And in these ways, I'm actually playing on her psychological needs that are common to all people, right? All people want to feel accepted. And so like when I pick something that's kind of a weird thing that she does, that she might be a bit self-conscious about, and I say that that's something that I love, okay, I'm providing her with acceptance, which is a powerful psychological macronutrient, if you will. Okay, things like approval, that she has some ability, things like admiration, right? I really think it's amazing that you can do this kind of stuff, right? I make her feel intelligent. I make her feel capable, right? I can even show that I sometimes feel sorry for her in ways that she might want to feel people to feel sorry for her, because being pitied is also a human need, right? Or having people feel that way. And so I could say, you do a really difficult job, for example, right? That might be a place where I show that I notice that she has things a bit tough from time to time. Okay, and so I'm really providing those psychological macronutrients to her, which is going to improve her sense of well-being. But I'm also phrasing these things in a way that ups the ante, that really causes those behaviors to be more likely to be repeated. And so what I mean by that is, in NLP, if you're familiar with NLP, it all are things called embedded commands. And so instead of saying something like, number 37, you're a good cook, right? Well, in that sense, I'm actually kind of labeling her. I'm boxing her in to an identity that she may or may not identify with. And I'm sort of reinforcing a fixed mindset. It's much more productive and positive to phrase it as something like this: you make healthy, delicious meals for the family. Okay, I put it that way, and as I said, it's an embedded command. I'm not just recognizing that she in the past has done those things, has done that, but I'm telling her to do that. If you read that on paper, there are a couple different intonations you can read it with. One of them would be the sort of delivering an order. You make, healthy, delicious meals. Now, you could see this as a bit manipulative, potentially. So, and it is a bit manipulative. So please use this with honest intentions, the best of intentions that will be good for your relationship, that will be good for your family. If you have any other people in the family, that's good for both of you. All right. Be a good person with this kind of stuff. But, use your imagination. And the other beautiful thing about this is, if you say someone is a good cook, but they like hardly ever cook, it comes across as disingenuous. But if I say, you make healthy, delicious meals, even if she's only done it 2 or 3 times, it's still true that she makes them. It might not have been that many times, but she has done it. So there's less of a disingenuous feel to that. Now, the fourth real benefit of this is reciprocity. There's the rule of reciprocity between people. So she reads this list and thinks, wow, he really spent a lot of time thinking about this. He really recognizes the good parts of me. And almost immediately when she's done reading this list, she starts thinking about things that she appreciates about me. And you're starting a sort of positive feedback loop there, where she now feels positive about me. Our interactions are more positive, so I feel more positive about her, and it just feeds into itself and heads things in a good direction, right? Now, one of the best things about doing something like this is you can take this step unilaterally. You don't need to talk about the relationship. You don't need both parties to sign on to whatever change you're proposing. You don't need everybody to be willing to work on the relationship. You can just sit down, take some time, take some mental effort, write this kind of stuff down, send it to the other person, and you have acted in a way that will almost certainly benefit the health of the relationship. And so often people who get tied up in knots in their relationships, it comes from that feeling that it has to be bilateral. Both parties need to be engaged in every little negotiation and every change that's made. But you have a lot of influence in your relationship if you're willing to use it, recognize where it exists, and leverage it to make things better. And you're doing it for your own good, but you're also doing it for the good of someone that you hopefully love and respect deeply. Now, I'm talking about this in the context of romantic relationships. It could be used in the context of other relationships. I can imagine doing it with my kids, right? That would probably be a fantastic idea. So maybe that's the next step for all this. anyway, I hope this was all helpful. I don't have a whole lot of programs out there on relationship stuff, but I do a lot of studying, and a lot of the coaching that I do with people does involve relationship issues. And obviously, I have one of my own. I have plenty of relationships of my own that I'm navigating and constantly trying to learn how to be better with. So, if you like this kind of content, just let me know. I hope that you found it valuable in some way. If you want to check out the Facebook group, the link is down below, and of course, there are workout courses down there as well for people who have little time and not much equipment and not a whole lot of space. These are extraordinarily time efficient and very safe and effective workouts. So, if you're interested, check those out. Thank you so much, everybody. And yeah, being the elite version of yourself is nothing but a choice. So just make that choice.